Okay, everybody, we did it. We got through another freak show of a year. And 2021 really was a freak show. The closing bell literally just went off. And personally, I am very happy to see this year behind us, although it has been one amazing year for trading this market. We're going to talk about that, what we have to look forward to. I'm going to lay out a whole bunch of stuff for you in this post-market wrap-up, my last one of 2021. So anyway, people, seriously, I don't know where to start. Let me say this. I am thrilled, honestly, to be here with all of you. That's the truth. Another year has gone by. I have been with you guys and girls for a long time. It's not going to stop. I'm not going to change. I plan on staying here with all of you, trying to put a little light or a lot of light onto what is going on around us moving forward. And as I have told you, I don't know, since time immemorial, we're not going to lose. There's no way. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they throw at us. We got it covered, and we know where to look. We know what we're doing, and we know why we are doing it. All right, people. So on this last trading day of 2021, let's start off with the markets here. How about this? The S&P 500 just finished its seventh consecutive quarter of gains. I don't know about you, but I would say that's historic. Despite every single thing that has been thrown at this market, doesn't seem to stop, does it? Despite the fact that our economy is in literal free fall. The bad economic news does not stop. And as you all know, as a percentage of GDP, our economy is cratering at its fastest pace ever on record. But, we're doing fantastic and it's tremendous and it's just great. Yeah, sure, the stock market is. We just finished, again, with slight losses across the board on this last trading day of the year. But 7 consecutive quarters of gains for the S&P 500, a series, and I mean a series of new record highs for this market. No surprise to you. No surprise to a single one of you who follow this particular blog. Sure, there has been a lot of calls this year, almost on a monthly basis, from a lot of people calling for this market to crash, telling people to go short this market. I don't know where these brain dead people come from. And they have misled throngs of people on a massive scale. And I hate that. You see, because the situation is very simple. We don't need to lose. Nobody here needs to lose unless you are really being misguided. Maybe it's deliberate by some of the people out here on YouTube and other places here. I don't know what they're trying to do. I understand they want to draw attention to their channel. I understand that they want to, maybe raise a little shock and awe, but they're doing people a great disservice here. Those of you who have, been with me for a very long time, let's just focus on 2021 and took advantage of everything that has been thrown at us. Well, we've had an incredible year, an absolutely incredible year. And I believe sincerely it's going to be just as incredible next year. We're gonna rip this market's face off to shreds. We're going to continue to do exactly what we're doing. We're not going to deviate. The plan that we have, that you and I have been following, that I've laid out for all of you, everywhere around this world, has worked, and it's going to continue to work. No matter what happens, again, no matter what they want to do, no matter what they want to throw at us. Anyway, before I go off on a tangent, like I said, I have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So yes, market today ended up with some slight losses, the major indices, but 7 consecutive quarters of gains on the S&P 500 is incredible. Today, the relative strength of the dollar did fall. we're going to talk more about dollar trends in just a little bit. I want to talk about a lot with you. So if you don't like long videos, well, I frankly don't care. I will cover what I want to cover here because there are a lot of people that want to hear this stuff, and I think it's important anyway. So with the dollar weakness here, yield curve looking pretty good, people. 10-year yield 1.5. We're ending the year with the MMRI. Again, link in the description of this video. Just about 90. It's looking very good to me moving into next year. And we're going to talk more about that again as we move forward. Today, cryptocurrencies did reverse after being higher. They did fall under some pressure. Bitcoin around 46 or 47,000. Okay, whatever. Gold and silver put on some gains. That's the story for the day here. But what I want to do here is, being that we got through another year, an epic year in this market, an epic freaking year. I want to talk about what is likely to happen moving into next year and into next year. So people, look, I don't know how many of you really don't know what's going on if you follow this blog. I would be willing to bet that you have an incredible insight into this market if you've been with me even for 6 months. That's really the truth. Look, I understand that there are some people that don't like my style because I'm very direct. Okay, I'm very direct. I call people out. And that's just the way it is. But I give it to you straight. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't lie. I tell you everything the way it's going. And look, I think my record speaks for itself. I continue to hear from more and more of you from all over the world. I'm so thankful for you, for this thing that we have built. This thing here. How many times have you heard me say, this is not just Greg Mannarino's thing. This is our thing. We are building something, okay? And we're making a difference. That's the most important thing to me, honestly. Money, oh yeah, it's all well and good. Big houses, fancy cars, nice watches, fancy clothes, great, fantastic and tremendous. But what does it really boil down to? It's about making a difference in the world. And it's got to start somewhere. So like I said, it should start with you and I. Don't you agree? And we are making a difference, and we all should be extremely proud of that. I really believe that too. I also, Greg Mannarino's philosophy is very straightforward. I believe this. If you're a good person and you try to do good for others, only good will come to you. That's just the universe. That's the way it works here. Okay? You want good things to come to you? Start doing good things for other people first. You want to sit there and pray for good things to happen to you? Do something nice for someone else first, and the universe will answer you. You understand? That's just the nature of things, and the sooner you all get hip to that, the better off you're all going to be. And that means with regard to trading as well. I always tell you to pay it forward. If you are making money, if you have made money in this market this year, and if you've been one of my lions, I would find it very difficult to believe that you haven't. Trading the market you have, owning large cap dividend paying stocks, trading credit spreads, selling puts onto the market, avoiding buying calls, and you've done phenomenal. You've done phenomenal. Well, take a percentage of those profits that you've made in 21 and give some away to a charity that you believe in, and good things will come back to you. I sincerely believe that. Anyway, people, let's talk here. So like I said, it's been one heck of a year. What can we expect moving into 2022? Number one, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you something that might be surprising. You might even be shocked. You might fall on the floor. I don't know. But I expect that market distortions to get worse. Much, much worse than they already are. I have covered with you at length, repeatedly, especially as of late, that the Federal Reserve is not going to stop buying assets. The Federal Reserve is going to keep rates suppressed again for as far as the eye can see. What does this do? What does the action of suppressed rates and easy money do? It creates price action distortions across the spectrum of asset classes. Nothing is real. There's no price discovery mechanism today, honestly, behind a single asset. Nothing. Okay, it's all twisted and bent out of shape because the debt market is completely out of control, and assets across the board derive value from the action in the debt market being driven by runaway central banks around the world, none more so than the Federal Reserve. I sincerely believe that you all understand that. I sincerely also believe that you realize the Fed is not done fulfilling their end game to become the lender and buyer of last resort, to own it all, okay? And you and I, we're going to mimic that, okay? We're going to mimic what central banks do. We're going to continue to buy whatever we can on the dips moving forward. People, like I just said earlier in this video, 7 consecutive quarters of gains in the S&P 500 is unheard of. Despite everything, despite the thing going around, I can't say it, and everything else, and there's more. There's going to be more. If you think you've seen it all with regard to control mechanisms, that's another big theme I want you to take away from this video. Moving into 22 here, more methods of control, more fear is going to be thrown at you and everyone else here. And a lot of people are going to willingly surrender their freedoms and liberties because of fear. Okay, fear is an ally to you and I. Okay, we capitalize on fear, but people don't know how to respond because they don't understand the situation. They don't realize that they're being duped. They don't realize that they're being lied to on a massive scale via the propaganda ministry, okay? It's just out of control. They don't get any truth anymore. And if they do get truth, let's say from a video like mine, well, they lash out at Greg Mannarino. They don't like Greg Mannarino because Greg Mannarino gives it to them straight. Gregory Mannarino doesn't sugarcoat a damn thing. Gregory Mannarino may come across in a way they don't like because they can't handle it. Okay, but that's just my style, and that's the way it is, like I've been explaining to you. So you can expect moving into 2022, throughout 2022 here, at least early on, people, well, it's not going to stop, but you can see price action distortions across the spectrum get much worse. I also expect to see the relative strength of the dollar stay high, but the absolute strength of the dollar continue to crater. And what does that mean? More inflation. More inflation. They're not done inflating. Central banks are going to continue to inflate people like I have told you for an entire freaking decade, okay? Their job is to inflate, and then inflate even more. That's what they're going to do. The easy money is going to pour into this market, and people, we know where to look. What are we doing? What do I tell you every freaking day? We're watching the debt market. We're watching the yield curve or the slope, the 10-year yield, the relative strength of the dollar, crude oil, the MMRI, the drivers of the market. We know what they are, okay? PE ratios don't matter. Forward guidance doesn't matter. Even an economic meltdown, an economic shutdown like they did to us, that doesn't matter either. The stock market still goes higher. It's easy money. Nothing matters, okay? This is a wealth transfer effect on an incredible scale. A wipeout of the middle class, which I expect to accelerate in 2022. Another one of my little tidbits of information, okay? Pay attention to this stuff. We already are in the end stage of whatever's left here of the middle class, and the pressure will remain on the middle class. With regard to inflation, like I said, you haven't seen anything yet. Real wages are going to crater. Yeah, sure, people might earn more money in 2022, but based against inflation, they're dead. Negative rates. We already have real negative rates. People are being robbed blind just to keep the debt bubble hyperinflated and boost the stock market. It's out of control. This is another trend that's going to continue moving forward. I think you all know that. At least I hope so. Anyway, what else did I want to cover? This a lot here, people. Look, let's move forward a little bit. So I already outlined what I think is going to happen here, what I believe the most likely scenario is for the stock market. If we understand, and I think this is clear, that easy money will continue to pour into this market, where do you think the stock market's going to go? You think we're going to get a crash tomorrow? Are you ready to bet against the market? You're going to go short here? You're going to listen to all those people out here that are brain dead? trying to tell you that every other month or every month is going to be a market crash. No. You know why you're not going to buy it? Because you know where to look. You're watching the drivers of the market, but you can expect more predictions of a market crash to be rolling out of very misinformed people who are out there to misguide you just because they want to get clicks on their channel or whatever the hell it is. I don't know what they want to do. They're destroying people. And honestly, they've hurt so many people. I don't know what to tell you. And I know it's not you because you've been following this blog. So what does that mean for the stock market? Yes, if the dynamics remain in place moving into 22, well, stock market's going higher. That does not mean we're not going to waver around, people. Normal corrections, well, they're supposed to happen from time to time, meaning a drop in the market of 5%, 10%, 15%, even 20% of the market. These are normal. Well, we don't see that anymore, but they're normal. They used to be normal, but when you have the drivers of this market, the debt market, in a hyper bubble and only more debt coming, well, you tell me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's say, for example, into whatever, moving into next year, the stock market falls 10, 15%, and the drivers of the market remain stable as they are now. What are you going to do? You're going to run for the hills? You're going to sell all your positions? What are you going to do? No, you're going to buy on those dips, period, the end. Because it's going to get bought up. People, understand. What I'm telling you is the exact strategy that is being used by the investment banks, the Wall Street super banks, these successful hedge funds. Okay, this is what they're doing, and we are going to mimic what they're doing as well. Buy the dips in everything. Okay, with regard to gold and silver, people, I sincerely believe that the rigging and the manipulation is going to continue. JP Morgan, all they're going to get, they'll probably get caught again this year several times in 22, and the year coming. And what's going to happen? Fine here, a fine over there. And the things over at JP Morgan are going to laugh their way to the bank, okay, as they pay off their bribes. That's all it is. But again, I don't give a damn. Let them play their game with regard to precious metals here. We're in a debt hyper bubble that keeps getting larger, and precious metals remain under pressure while everything else is inflating. Does that make sense to you? It shouldn't, unless you realize that it's J.P. Morgan who's rigging the metals markets over and over and over again, and they're not going to stop. No arrests are going to be made, and they're going to continue to do this until they can't. And when will they not be able to get away with it, people? Like I always tell you, when we get an implosion in the debt market, which will occur. Is it going to happen in 22? I have no freaking idea, nor do I care. I'm going to follow the drivers of the market. I'm going to relay that information to you. So you're going to be way ahead of the curve. You're going to know what to do, why you're doing it, and when to do it. There's just no doubt about it. So expect rigging in the metals markets to continue. Let's move on to cryptocurrencies here, 22. What do I expect? Volatility. Imagine Greg Mannarino shock. The crypto space is volatile, period. Okay, and you're going to hear more calls for Bitcoin zero. They're going to be all wrong. Okay, is it possible that we could see Bitcoin drop 20, 30, 40%? Of course it is. That's the space. That's how it trades. If you can't handle it, don't buy it. Is it also possible that we could see $100,000 Bitcoin in 22? Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And that would pull the whole crypto market with it. Yeah, it would not surprise me for 1 nanosecond to see $100,000 Bitcoin in 22. I don't think you would be surprised either, people. I already told you I expect the relative strength of the dollar to stay high, but its absolute strength fall moving into 22. I also expect our economy to continue to contract. All right, and I'm not just talking about the economy here in the United States. The global economy, people, as a percentage of GDP, is going to continue to free fall. You will also see debts and deficits continue to skyrocket because it's the nature of the beast. You see, you're not allowed to know that the debt-based economic model demands that debt continue to be borrowed into existence in greater and greater amounts. You understand? Look, I covered a lot here with you. And for those of you that have been with me, my lions out here, forget about even dreaming about deviating from the strategy that we have. Okay, we will continue to follow that strategy. It's not going to change until the dynamics change. You know, I sent out a letter in my free newsletter, link in the description of this video earlier. I'm getting quite a reputation for being a perma-bull, and people write to me all the time, "Oh, Greg, you're a perma-bull. There's nothing that's going to change your mind." That's not true. It's a complete falsehood. I will change my perspective on the freak show when the dynamics change. Right now, nothing has changed. So I will remain a bull here in the market. And I will continue to advocate for buying the dips in this market and everything else. Dips in precious metals, dips in cryptocurrencies, dips in crude oil, obviously. I mean, you can go on and on. We're going to continue that strategy at the same time, betting against the debt, becoming our own central banks, realizing the debt hyperbubble is going to burst. And we don't even think about when. We don't care when. We know what's going to happen. All we are doing is getting ourselves in the right spots now. In the event of a market meltdown, if you are hedged, like I've been telling you, you're sitting pretty anyway. So why would you care? Okay, there's a lot of people here. "Oh, Greg is trying to get people to stay in the market. It's because he's going to capitalize when it melts down." Are you kidding me? Yes, I will capitalize on it when it melts down, but I'm also hedged. Like I've been telling you, we can't sit here and try to pinpoint market tops and pinpoint market bottoms. We got all these retards out here pointing their fingers. "Oh, it's a market top. They've been wrong over and over again." Okay, "Oh, this is topping out." They're wrong over and over again. You can't do it. Anyone who's trying to point to a particular time, a particular date, just laugh in their freaking face, because it's just not so. All right. Anyway, look, I hope sincerely, at least those of you who have been with me, even just this year, are learning something about this market here. I don't believe sincerely there's another guy who covers this stuff the way that I do and puts a real perspective on what's happening around us and how we can all make it work for us. We have a choice moving into 2022. We can let the system destroy us, which ain't going to happen on my watch, or we can weaponize the system against those that are trying to hurt us. And there are people out there who are deliberately trying to hurt us. It's not going to let it happen. It's not going to happen. I told you that from a long time ago. I got your back, and I know that you have mine. All right, people, look, kind of a long video. In fact, a very long video. And even though it's the last trading day of the year, it is a Friday. And I'm going to let you off with my favorite 3 things. But before I do that, you will see the Crypto Kid tomorrow. I know he's preparing a video for you. I hope you all tune into that. That will be out tomorrow morning. You will see me on Sunday from my markets a look ahead. People, like I always told you, if you will let me, I will keep you so far ahead of this market and pretty much everybody else. It's just frankly ridiculous. All right, are you ready? Bring it in. Bring it in. Are you ready? Love each other. Care about each other. Be thankful. I am thankful for all of you. Again, for being with me, putting up with some of the things that I say, some of the words that I use. I know you don't like it, some of you. I can't change the way that I am. All right. I'm a very passionate person. And sometimes this whole freak show really does get to me. It honestly does. With that said, again, please have a very happy new year, a safe new year. And I'll see all of you, well, next year on Sunday for my Markets Look Ahead. I'm out of here.